Oh, that's definitely the sweet sounds of Mariah Carey and Bye Bye here on the Community Show with me, Andrew from Breakfast in Fulham this afternoon. The time's just coming up to 3:25, and I've got my guest here, Steve Light, and we've been talking about a few things. We've basically been talking about the main subject today is SAD. Good afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon.
Now, sorry, just for some of the listeners that may have just switched on, we're talking about SAD. Now, can you just explain to me what that is again?
Yeah, sure. What it is SAD is short for Social Anxiety Disorder, and what it is basically a fear of people, a fear of being around people, being in social situations.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Okay, now, you used to be a sufferer, didn't you?
I did, yes. I was a shy kid all my life, and I used to think that's the way I was, but then when I went into my teens it got a lot worse and I was being more and more avoidant, and then into the early 20s actually finding it hard to go out and get a job and talk on the phone and go shopping, like simple tasks that people take for granted in day-to-day life were really difficult for me.
Did anyone else ever pick up on it, or was it just you suddenly noticed it yourself?
No one really told me about it. I only told my mum a couple of weeks ago, and then she kind of knew already. She was worried about me, but she didn't want to mention anything about it,
right,
in case I got upset. But people around me definitely knew that something was wrong, because I wasn't very happy in my life. I was just existing and not having a life. Yeah. And
sort of, how long did it take you to sort of get over the disorder?
Well, back in 2005, I said to myself, I'm sick of this. I can't live my life like this, being afraid. So I went to my local self-help group in Bristol at the time, and that was after a couple of years of procrastinating. I was too anxious to actually go to the group, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to go along, I'm going to see what it's like.
Right.
And it's such a relief to know there's other people who felt the same. So we're in a small group, and everyone knew how I was feeling, so there was no judgment at all, and it just felt totally safe. And at that point, that was the point where I said, I'm gonna find a way out of this.
You sort of turned it around for yourself.
I did, yeah.
That's brilliant, because obviously if there's anybody out there that is, of course, suffering from SAD, then, you know, guys, don't worry, you can get in touch with us here today. Email presenter@westsideradio.co.uk, or simply hit us up on the text 60300, not forgetting to put Westside before your message. Or, like I said before, you could alternatively give us a ring, 0208 571 1188. I'm sure if you do have any questions up until 4 o'clock while Steve is with me, I'm sure you'd be happy to answer them, wouldn't you, Steve?
Yes, I'd be delighted to, yeah.
Okay, so we've sort of discovered what it is, and we've gone through that. Do you know, how does it occur?
I'm not an expert on those kind of details, but there are many contributing factors.
Right.
For example, it could be hereditary. If you have anxious parents, it could be passed on. There's also conditioning when you're growing up, the environment you're in.
These are all factors?
Yeah, they're all factors that add towards it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And you say it also affects relationships as well. Is that not just with friends, but is that sort of relationships with girls as well? Yeah, it can. I was fortunate enough to have a few girlfriends in my life, but it can affect people's self-esteem, so they're completely anxious to speak to the opposite sex, which a lot of people have that already, but it's magnified a lot more, so people won't even talk to any people of the opposite sex whatsoever, so finding a girlfriend or boyfriend is a lot more difficult. Of course, yeah. Yeah. Right, okay, well, brilliant. Thank you for that, Steve. Steve is going to be with us, like I said, up until 4 o'clock, and the day is all happening, the main day is all happening this Saturday, the 22nd of November. It's a unique one-day event that will help you boost self-esteem, promote confidence, and overcome shyness and anxiety. And the day is called Leading Light, and that all starts this Saturday, the 22nd of November. We're going to go across to the ads now, and we will be back on the other side with some Jasmine Sullivan, so don't go anywhere. And like I said, I will have Steve here.